To make a quiz or exam in Brightspace D2L, click on Assessments Quizzes. All exams and quizzes are just called quizzes, and click on New Quiz. And type in the name of what it's called. In my case, it's midterm. And you can use a due date, but in my case, I have it on a specific day and time, so I'm not going to use the due date as if it's open for a whole week like I would for a quiz. I'm going to go in availability. I'm going to set the dates of the exam. Oops. And then I'm going to add it to the calendar. Now I can manage special access because I have a student with accommodation, but I'm going to do that later because I need to set the timing first before I do this. Also, I can use a password for proctoring if I need to, and I don't. Now I'm going to go into timing and display, and I'm going to set the timer because the default is no time limit. And in my exam, I'm not going to give any grace period, and I'm going to have it's a 60-minute exam, and I'm going to prevent from making changes. And okay. Now, once I've done that, I'm also going to shuffle questions. I don't have any hints. Although I disable the email within Brightspace, D2L Brightspace, that doesn't disable Gmail or Google Messaging. Then I'm going to save it. I'm not going to save and close because I still want to make changes. I'm going to save what I've done. And the act of doing that will allow me to go into Manage Special Access and add users. And by the way, what this means is that this is an exam that's available to the whole class, but in addition, available with special access to the student I'm about to put in. The second option would be, what if it's a second final exam? Let's say that they missed the first one and you're creating one special for them. Then, and you only want a certain student or a certain set of students to see that, that's where you would choose the allow only special access. But I'm going to keep it on the default and open up the special access. And I'm going to give double time. And so I'm going to extend the end date in case they lose Wi-Fi before it. I'm going to extend the end date to the double time enforced. And I'm going to say it's multiplied by 2 times. And even though I can put the student into the class list that have double time, it won't extend the end date. And that's why I like to do it here to make sure that that's extended. I don't want to change want an alternate behavior for the grace period. I'm not using it, or for the exceeding the time limit, so I'm not checking those. And then I'm going to select my student or students if there's more than one that has that condition, and then save, and then save and close. Then I can go down to attempts and completion. I want one attempt. But if this was a quiz, this is where I'd manage to allow them to have either unlimited or a certain number. And then the next question is, if they do more than one, is it the highest attempt or the most recent last attempt? For me, it doesn't matter. I just keep it on one. And then I can go into evaluation feedback. There is no rubric on exams yet, although that's been proposed. And I like the ability to auto-publish the results, and they can see their attempt, but they can't see with how much grades that they earned, but I don't want them to see the questions, so I'm going to keep it on no questions. I could allow them to see more if I wished. And the next thing is the points. That right now it's 0 points because there are no questions. I could load them from my quiz, my library, which is question pools, or I could upload it if I'm bringing it in from another source. But I'm going to create them new question. I'm going to make a multiple choice question. And then I could save and copy if the next question is similar and I just want to tweak it a little bit, or save and new if it's not similar but I just want to have more that I'd like to make. I'm just going to choose save. And by default it's 1 point, and you'll see the 1 point is here, but I can change that. Let's say I had a whole bunch of questions. I could select all those questions that should be 2 points, for instance, and go into more actions, set points, and make it 2 points. And Also, I'm going to make it visible so that they can see that the test is coming, but they can't access the test until that date and time. I also could add a description. And now save and close, and students will be able to take that test. When they go into assessments quizzes and click on it, then they'll see the time that it is, how much time is allotted, any instructions, and then click on start quiz, and the timer will begin. And here's my question. I'll answer it. Submit the quiz, and at the end, are you ready to submit? If there were any questions that I didn't answer, they would tell me here, and I could go back to the questions to answer it. But here's my final submission. And then I can see what I earned. I can't see the question itself because the instructor hasn't released this, but I can see my grade. And that's how quizzes are set up.